Hi, my name is Robin DeBray, and this is a quick overview of most of the features that are working in the It3rate tool Beta 1. Okay, so when you download the It3rate tool, you'll end up with a zip file, and if you unpack that, you'll see a folder structure that's something like this. This is just an Xcopy deployment, so there's no install, so just find the executable file and double click it, and that will start up the It3rate tool. It loads a default file loads a default file just for the beta, just so you have some assets to work with and that kind of thing. It's called test. If you're wondering where it is, it's in the examples folder under the test. And the It3rate files, as you can see here, are not necessarily single files like a Flash file or an AI file or a Photoshop file, but it's actually multiple files, and it is a text-based format. If you look at this UIL file, which means UI layout, you'll see that it's actually just basically an XML file. And then if you go into definitions, that's where all your symbols or objects like that are defined. Whoops, I won't open that in here. I'll open it in the text pad, and you can see that these are basically also just XML files, and they have, you know, dates and that kind of stuff. And if you go down a little bit further, you get the actual vector data files. This is a actual vector graphic, and you can see it's something like SVG encoding with but these are converted from Flash, so it works very well with Flash files or you know, bitmaps, and eventually will work with SVG files and that kind of thing as well. Okay, so back to the tool here. When you open it, you'll have a few elements like this, and they'll also be in the library here. You'll see there's a Swift file, and it'll have come in a folder that has been imported, and we'll go into that later. And there's also one bitmap file, and you can drag any of these elements on. You can see some of them are already on, and then of course you can delete them and move around, and that's where you kind of want to experiment and get the feel of it. It's pretty much like Flash or Adobe Illustrator or CorelDRAW, those kind of programs, to actually manipulate things with kind of affine transforms and that kind of stuff, but there are slight differences, so you probably will have to get used to it a little bit.